July the 22nd, scents. The word fragrance may have derived from the genus name for strawberry, that is Fragaria. Whether it or not it did, strawberries have their own unique mouth-watering fragrance, and wild strawberries can now be found in fruit all around the outskirts of London, although never in abundance. If found, it is worth smelling the bruised leaves, which have their own particular musky scent, musk being very much a midsummer smell. Other wildflowers with similar musky scents at the moment are the musk thistle, musk mallow, and angelica. In gardens, antirrhinums are also famous for their musky scent, especially if they are warmed a little by the sun. July has to be the most scented month of all, and it is worth attempting to smell most of the new flowers you come across. On still days, the air itself can be heavily scented with flowers or cut grass, and on still warm nights after a little rain, even wet foliage throws a scent. If a storm occurs after a long dry spell, the earth itself emits the famous petrol scent. Walking around London streets, the heavy, slightly fishy smell of privet flowers is now common. Walking in the countryside, it is replaced by the vanilla scent of traveller's joy. Thinking of London's medieval pilgrims, Gerard said traveller's joy was common in every hedgerow from Gravesend to Canterbury, which may account for its name. Pilgrims put the scented leaves of mugwort in their shoes prior to walking long distances. Strewing herbs used at the time included balms, germander, pennyroyal, as well as the scented sedge acorus and sweet galingale. Broad beans were grown then, much as they are now. Their heavy, sweet, slightly balsam scent, when grown as a crop, can carry for a mile and was thought to encourage fantasies and dreams. These would be more intense if you fell asleep near the field where they were growing. Wild orchids this month have their own varied set of scents. Frog and musk smell of musky honey. Lesser butterfly is a delicate vanilla, and fragrant orchids smell of cloves. The greater butterfly orchid is the one to try and track down, as they smell of jonquils, but only at night. They are now very rare, but one or two may still be hanging on in the woods around Westerham. Even in primrose, soapwort, and white clover, all have sweet scents. The lack of musk in clover results in the honey being sweet rather than musky. Field scabious also smells of honey, and buddleia is even said to smell of warm honey. Two other groups of plants rich in scents flowering now are the mints, mentha species, and the St. John worts, hypericum species. Mints are known for the sharpness of their scents. In herb gardens, they range from peppermint and spearmint to eau de cologne. Wild mints also have a wide range of scents. Apple mint smells of apples, and water mint is minty with an orange edge. Other relatives, such as catmint, have some lemon mixed in with the mint. Catmint is well known for sending cats into paroxysms, but it is less well known that hangmen in the past ate it to stiffen their resolve. Among the St. John worts, Tutson and hairy St. John worts have resinous smells, and marsh St. John's wort has more spice. There are always disagreeable smells, and this month is no exception. Umbellifers as a group have the reputation for being evil-smelling, and at times even nauseous. This month, the main offenders are fool's parsley, mousy, astrantia and pepper saxifrage, fetid, and the bruised leaves of spignal smell of turpentine. Other umbellifers with more interesting fragrances include water dropwort, port, and stone parsley, petrol with a little nutmeg. It is in the garden the really big scents of July are to be found, especially among the lilies, honeysuckles, roses, jasmines, and passion flowers. Campions and pinks and carnations are always associated with cloves. Some snapdragons and wild bladder campion throw their soft clove scent, but only in the evening. Old roses, especially the gallicas, bourbons, damask, scalbers, cabbage, and moss roses, are all still highly scented. However, rose gardens are not quite as scented now as they were, as many of the single flowering species are now going over. The repeat flowering species are continuing to flower, but they are generally noted for their lack of scent. In herb gardens and downland, marjoram is very much now in flower, with its familiar scent, which includes some camphor. Fennel has its familiar aniseed odour. Fennel seeds used to be collected and eaten to assuage hunger on fasting days. Other plants are noted for their fruity scents, while clary, salvia, verbenaca has leaves which emit a pineapple scent. They were used to scent jellies and added to medieval scent bags. A garden form of clary, Salvia sclarea, has leaves which smell of muscat grapes, and all leaves, which was occasionally an ingredient for vermouth. Another garden salvia, Salvia microphylla, has leaves that smell of red currants. More unusual scents in the garden are melianthus, peanuts, olearia, sweet sultanis, candytuft, old socks, and drimmis, milk and magnesia. Elecampane has remarkable roots which, when dried, first smell of bananas and then later of violets. The most unforgettable scents of the month probably belong to the lilies. To some extent, this may be due to the presence of indole, which is the active ingredient in civet. Civet is one of the bases of the perfume industry. Words like overwhelming and breathtaking are used to describe lily scents, yet the humble wild heath bedstraw, Gadium satyri, which is found all over London where there is an acid soil, has the same powerful smell. Gardens recommended now for their scented plants would have to include Kew Gardens, Ravenscourt Park and Jeffrey Museum Garden, the last garden having the advantage of allowing you to rub some of the leaves.